Guys, we have some really huge energetics going on today. We are prime time for some crazy things to be happening, big shocks and surprises. But the information that is being brought to us by the stars and by the astrology today is super, super specific in terms of what is going on and why this is happening. And ultimately, it's really to help restore balance and bring things back into a place of liberation and authenticity. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday, August 6th. 2021. My name is Aubrey, and this is my astrological outlook of the day. And it's a big one. We have the sun coming into an exact square with Uranus today. This is always a big energetic, but right now it's like extra, extra significant because of the fact that Uranus and Saturn have been in this sustained square for quite a while now, and that's really one of the main activations, the main transits that's causing changes that is ultimately moving us collectively into the age of Aquarius. Uranus rules Aquarius, so whatever's going on with Uranus these days is very relevant in terms of changes that need to happen to put things a certain way so that we can progress along this timeline that's moving us into the age of Aquarius, whether or not it's very comfortable and fun at the time as we're going through it. So right now, today is another one of those very significant days in this process. The sun is coming into a square with Uranus, reactivating this Uranus-Saturn square that's been going on for a while, and we can expect a lot of crazy things, shocks and surprises, things happening out of the blue today that, seem chaotic or confusing or erratic or unexplainable, just like wham, happening. But whatever does happen, whatever shakeups do occur, it's really important to remember that these things are ultimately going to be for the best. And like I said in the beginning, rarely is there a day when the energetics are so clear and so straightforward, and what is going on is being so perfectly described by the planetary placements and the aspects that they're making. And we also have to remember in this process today, it just so happens to work out that both the sun and the moon are in domicile. They're in their domain, their dominion, their home sign, where their energy is the most pure and the most strong and the most able to resonate with just the purest and the truest frequencies. And so that's pertaining to both the sun, our spirit, and the moon, Mother Moon, our soul. And so both of these energies, the sun and the moon today, are very powerful, but they're also very balanced. There's a balance between the masculine and the feminine, Mother Moon and Father Sun, in today's energy. And with all of this light, all of this really powerful light that's coming through in correspondence to this Uranus square today, it's really making me feel like this is ultimately something that is leading us back into the light. And honestly, you guys, with this is a major day where humanity is breaking through and breaking free. That's the underlying label that I would give this energetic today, because Uranus ultimately is the planet of liberation and rebellion and wanting to be free from all that restrains us and keeps us from being able to align with our authentic potential and cultivate that and develop it and be who we truly are, who we're meant to be to the fullest capacity. That's what Uranus always wants to do. And we have Mercury in an aspect today as well that is making it a central force in the dynamics of the energy today. So really we have the moon in its own sign, the sun in his own sign for this square, and we have Mercury highlighted today as well. So we're bringing all three components, the soul, the spirit, and the mind, are all incorporated in this breakthrough, breakout energy that we have going on today. And it's like the Holy Trinity within humanity, within our psyche, mind, soul, and spirit is really trying to be pushed to make a breakthrough into liberation today. Today is a really powerful day where there might be some serious breakthroughs, awakenings going on alongside whatever turbulence we experience as well. So let me start talking about these things more specifically. First off, let's just consider the signs that the planets are in for the square today. Like I said, the sun is in Leo and Uranus is in Taurus. And when Uranus is in Taurus, this is really shaking up things that make us comfortable, that make us feel safe and secure. Also relationships. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it has a lot to do with Venus themes and like our value for ourselves and what we put value on, and what, like I said, gives us safety, security, stability, and comfort in the world. And that also is in terms of relationships, what relationships give us safety, security, and make us feel valuable and significant in the world. These are the things that are undergoing these shakeups right now, and it's for the purpose of liberating the sun in Leo, because squares they're 90-degree angles. They create tension and conflict, but the point of it is to like make like a breakthrough into some type of evolution that comes back into, peace. And so with the sun in Leo and square to Uranus and Taurus, it's like these things, these relationships, these comforts, these ways that we've established security for ourselves in the world are undergoing these major shakeups with this, so that we can realign with our heart, like authentically our own personal creative self-expression, and be like ultimately liberated from any material forms, material structures, or relationships that are actually like imprisoning us from being able to do that. So that is the underlying like energies that are being impacted when we have this square going on between Taurus and Leo, the heart and, our stability in life, and Uranus, the great awakener, the great rectifier, the silver lining planet, and the sun, which rules our vitality and everything that we need to like grow and thrive and feel alive in life. We're really trying to be brought back to life and freed from any material structures that have become more like, that we've built for ourselves, that have become more like prisons than palaces, if you know what I mean. And again, that applies to relationships as well. So that is what is going on with the dynamics of the square itself. And the Sabian symbols, or the energetic depictions associated with the degrees that are being discharged today, 15 degrees of Leo for the sun and 15 degrees of Taurus for Uranus, that 15 Leo is a pageant moving along a street packed with people. So this activation today, you guys, is going to be impacting a lot of people. We might see some serious spectacles going on, and there might be things happening that are just in very plain sight, very public view, or in the midst of large groups of people. And with Uranus at 15 Taurus, this degree is a man with a rakish silk hat, muffled against the cold, braves a storm. So there's some type of storm that we are having to brave and muffle against, and it's affecting a large group of people. Now, this storm is obviously metaphorical, and it's Uranus, so we can expect some type of upheavals, some type of shakeups, some type of like earthquakes or storms going on today. And they might, like I said, are affecting a lot of people, or we might see some serious spectacles with this, but ultimately it is to return the light and break us out of anything that is keeping our light from truly being able to shine, with both the sun and the moon in their signs of rulership today, which is really special, you guys. That only happens for like 2.5 days a year, and it's happening in correspondence with this square today. So it's really about breaking us out of anything that is allowing our light to shine from its truest, fullest extent, and that is in terms of both our soul and our spirit. And let me get to number 2 on my list today. We've talked about the sun squaring Uranus, and that is obviously the main show of the day. But we also have some interesting things going on with both Mercury and the moon today that are giving us more clarity and telling us more about this story. We have Mercury today at 20 degrees of Leo. And that actually puts Mercury into a trine with the Eris point for this Sun-Uranus square. And the Eris point is the point in the sky where the planet Uranus, or the planet Eris, was discovered. And it's a very potent and powerful degree. The Sabian symbol of that degree is a boxer entering the ring. And this degree is really just like the ultimate break the chains energy, liberating anyone from anything at pretty much any cost. In the mythology, you know, Eris throws the apple of discord. She really doesn't care. She doesn't care whose feelings it upsets. She doesn't care who gets mad. She doesn't care if she gets banished, but she's going to say how things are. She's going to tell the truth. She's going to make sure everybody knows it, and she's going to be liberated in that way. And that's really like the way that this energy operates. It's, you know, throwing off the chains with this. Whenever the Eris point is activated, we are definitely breaking free from something. And with Mercury, the mind, in a trine to the Eris point for this activation today, trines facilitate things. They just make things happen without us having to try. And with this trine going on with Mercury, our mind, our mental faculties, our thought processes, what we're thinking, like our ideas, our perceptions, our understandings, in this trine to the Eris point today alongside the Sun squaring Uranus, because Uranus likes to do the same thing. Uranus and the Eris point actually have a lot in common. They both really want to get to integrity and to the truth and to genuine authenticity. And so it's like the Sun is making this square with Uranus, and things are getting thrown up in the air so that they can land in a much more organic and authentic way so that they can develop better. And simultaneous to that, also our mind is in this it's like a mental breakthrough is being facilitated today as well. And this is breaking out of any type of mental prisons or mental enslavement or mind control, and awakening freedom of speech, thought, and self-expression are highlighted by this and being facilitated. So with this, definitely themes along, you know, freedom of speech, being able to speak your mind, being able to be free to have thoughts, independent thoughts, and there's just this breaking free from illusions and mind control energy going on with Mercury and this trine to the Eris point in simultaneousness, whatever, to the Sun square Uranus. So it's not just the Sun, it's not just our spirit that is like being like urged to rebel and to break free from things today, but it's also happening on the mental level and the mental spheres as well. This is tremendous potential for awakenings just happening across the board today, all over the place. And then we take it a step further because there's more. The moon is in late Cancer today and is going to be making 3 aspects, while these other aspects are playing out: Mercury with the Eris point in trine and the Sun in square to Uranus. The moon is first going to be squaring the Eris point. The Eris point is being activated by both Mercury and the moon today. The moon is going to be squaring the Eris point, and then the moon will move into a trine with Neptune retrograde in Pisces, and then the moon will move into an opposition with Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so this aspect, these 3 aspects that are going on with the moon today, on top of the Sun squaring Uranus, on top of Mercury trining the Eris point, like I can read these specifically. Number 1, moon squaring Eris point. This is like conflict and tension that's being brought up because we want to rebel and be liberated from something that we feel like is like restraining our soul's true expression, like what's really like our feelings and our emotions being held back and restricted by something, and having a really strong desire to just be able to be emotionally free to feel how we authentically feel and to be able to express that and align with that, and this frustration being brought up. There's this tension where on an emotional level too, we're also trying to be liberated today. And then following that, the moon will trine Neptune retrograde, and this is helping us gain awareness and truth. Neptune and have a stronger connection to our higher self and our intuition. So it's like we are gaining this awareness today on like a soul level, on an emotional level. We're really starting to feel like the truth about things, gaining some emotional clarity, and feeling like a stronger connection to our path and our intuition and our higher self and spiritual guidance. And it's causing us to really just want to like break free and rebel from things that have been restricting or holding us back or keeping us in a state of like lack in terms of our emotional expression and our feelings. And then that moves on to the moon opposing Pluto. And as a result of these two processes that we've gone through, this is going to cause us to actually want to be standing up for ourselves and bringing up power struggles and issues in terms of power dynamics, because we are coming to this clarity, we're coming to this awakening internally in our like emotions and in our feelings, and it's causing us to want to rebel and break free from things, which is igniting these power struggles with situations that we've been in for a long time, where there's been a certain like status quo in terms of the power dynamic that's being shooken up now. And all of these things are playing out together. So it's like this whole just like ball of energy today on every level. It's literally, like I said, this, it's crazy. Like from my perspective and as an astrologer, I wish I could find better words to explain it with the magnitude that I feel it and that I understand it reading these energetics. I try to translate it the best way that I can, but it's really like just insanely, you know, like synchronistic, and just the way that things play out with the sun and the moon both in their own signs, and then the sun, Mercury, and the moon all bringing us through this process today that is just creating this collective breakthrough for humanity within the Holy Trinity within us, our soul, our spirit, and our mind. It's like unbelievably magical. And I wrote, in terms of the moon, okay, I wrote emotionally breaking through illusions and things coming to light and being purged and transformed emotionally. That's sort of like the progression of the energetics on an emotional level today. Clarity and power and control dynamics that have held us emotionally hostage. That's a really good way to describe these energies today. Realizing that we've been in some type of a situation that's been holding us emotionally hostage in some way or another, and just feeling really triggered and inspired to break through it. And since these things are all like interplaying together, it's sort of like the chicken or the egg in terms of, you know, which one is activating actually these shocks and surprises and these big changes and these erratic behaviors and stuff, because there's so many different levels of it. It's happening, like I said, within our feeling nature, within our spirit, and what we need to thrive and feel alive, and also within our mind and our thinking and our understanding, all just like having this major like itch to be liberated today. But it's because we're gaining this clarity and we're having these awakenings, and it's inspiring that behavior, and therefore that is making like all of this crazy stuff happen as well. So we have that. And then one more thing that I want to say today, because this just is like extra ironic and adds to it even more. We have Jupiter retrograding back from 30 degrees of Aquarius to 29 degrees of Aquarius today, and that degree is where is it? A butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. So it's a metamorphosis. Like that is what is happening today. Uranus square the sun is always trying to create breakthroughs into something to help bring us back into a more authentic alignment. But with all of this today, it's really like a rebirth into the light. And it's happening, like I said, again, along the lines of the Holy Trinity, the mind, the soul, and the spirit. Every level of, you know, human psychic expression is being impacted with this. And it's between Uranus and all of the Eris Point activations, this energy is really, really working to set us straight and to realign us with the light. And in the context of everything else that's been going on, and this saga, this grand saga that we're in right now, and this journey, this hero's journey back to inner integration and self-empowerment and realigning with our authentic truth, and then using that to create and build our lives going forward. This is another just really significant day in this transition. And if you watched my video yesterday, it's really funny because there were so many energetics like activated through the degree placements yesterday that we're talking about how today was set up. It was being set up in advance through this sort of like divine layout, this like divine intervention, like as like divine assistance. It was really talking about that yesterday. And today, the way that things are laying out, it really is just a perfect setup to help us get back on the right path towards the light. And I'm not saying that today's going to be a pretty day. I'm not saying that today's going to be an easy day or that things are going to go really smoothly. Although, remember, we are all very much in control of our own experience if we are using our minds and our imagination properly, and if we are focusing our attention properly, and if we are not resisting the changes that are happening. One of the worst things that you can do with Uranus from personal experience is try and resist the changes that Uranus is bringing. What we really all need to be doing right now is sitting back, and anything that's happening, even if it's not something that you want in any way, just be like, okay, God, okay, universe, if you need to take this thing out of my life, okay, like I will be in acceptance of that because I understand that it's for a higher, greater purpose right now, and I'm not going to cling to it, and I'm not going to try to control it. I'm just going to surrender to the process. That's really what we all need to do right now, is surrender to the process, because anything that we try to fight or control or resist out of our human understanding without being able to see through universe's perspective the way that things need to align is going to cause more significant shakeups and shocks and surprises in those experiences. So, I mean, and even like the Earth, the position of the Earth today, which would be opposite the sun and also in square to Uranus at 15 degrees is Aquarius. This degree is two lovebirds sitting on a fence singing happily. So these aspects today are really trying to restore balance on Earth, harmony, peace, and love and balance. And that's also being indicated through the sun and the moon, both in their own signs, indicating this balance today. And that's what this is moving us towards. But because, we've gotten so off track a lot of times chasing other people's ideals. Remember, the degree of Saturn right now is all about asking us to reconsider our ideals and reform, our priorities and what we want to do and our goals and our visions for our life based on new information that we've gained and new value systems, and whether or not we even still align with the ideals we may have had our whole entire life. So we just really need to know that whatever transpires with this energy today is really trying to liberate us and trying to help us, despite how uncomfortable it might be, or how chaotic it might be, or the problems and issues that might come of it right now. Even if it feels bad, it's trying to free you from something, I promise, and put you on a path that is ultimately going to lead to your greater fulfillment, your greater success, your greater prosperity, and your greater happiness ultimately in life. So that's what we have today. Really, from, the universal perspective, this is a really wonderful day, and it's really doing a lot to further the process of clearing the clutter and getting us back on the right track. But from our little human perspectives, it might just be a tough day, and I'm expecting, and you guys should be expecting, people to just be all over the place, people losing their minds, people acting totally crazy. This is another day where you're going to want to slow down, watch being overly impulsive, be very, very careful driving, be careful being out in crowds. This is probably, a day where if you can, you're really going to, not want to engage in too much over the top activity. Really try to keep your wits about you, watch drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. Even though it's a Friday night, maybe not go out this night, but really whatever happens is for the best, ultimately in the grand scheme of things, liberating us from whatever is holding us back, mind, soul, and spirit. That's the message of the day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to provide something that can give you some type of clarity as you go through your day, because the stars, the universe, astrology is really, really trying to give us some peace of mind today in knowing that this is just a breakthrough process, trying to realign us with light, body, mind, and soul, and or soul, spirit, and mind. And so we're just going through this process, and we just need to go with the flow and really try not to resist any changes. So if you guys liked my video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested, leave me comments. I love you guys' comments. Ring the bell if you want a notification every time I upload a video. And I have a Facebook page and a Facebook group if you guys want to join those as well. So wishing everybody the best, and I will see you back here tomorrow. We have a new moon coming up this weekend, and I will be back with your personal readings for this new moon in Leo, and with all the information that you could ever want to know about how this new moon is going to be playing out this month. See you guys then. Bye.